What's your youngest called?
Monty.
I did a little bit of taking the piss out of you for being posh, and you were defending the fact that you're not posh. But for anyone watching, I'd like to provide Exhibit A and Exhibit B as Monty and Cressy.
I put actor as my thing on Instagram. Yeah, because that's what I want to be. I'm like, yeah, I'll put actor. And then
Well, you are now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it worked out.
I'm going to put fucking astronaut on mine just in case.
Yeah.
You can't use the IMDb like an OBE. Do you know what I mean? You can't put it down as like Clara Batten IMDb. It doesn't work like that. Hello, and welcome to the Lock-In Podcast with me, Mike, and over there is Baz. Say hello, Baz.
Hello, Baz.
Perfect. If you haven't been with us before, whether you are watching or listening to us, this is the Lock-In Podcast. Me and Baz are sat in our virtual pub, the Brace of Reedlands, and we are just two middle-aged blokes with beards chatting to someone who's wandered into our pub.
Love it.
Today, that person who's wandered into our pub is... Now, let me read the proper intro, which is, this lady lives in East Sussex with her husband and two young children. Self-deprecating, with an acerbic wit. She's every middle-class mother in lockdown. This is Clara Batten. Hello!
It's like, that's just my own little intro, nicked off You magazine.
I was blagging everybody that I wrote that, and I reckon a handful of people would have believed that, and that I wasn't reading it off dailymail.co.uk.
Yeah, the mail. But they said I had an acerbic wit, so who cares?
So for those that don't know Clara, we discovered Clara on TikTok, which is where me and Baz usually hang out when Baz isn't hanging out also on Instagram. So that's basically where we hang out. Anyway, so that's where we discovered Clara. And Clara's been on this podcast before we were an audio podcast. But we wanted Clara to come back on because we've got loads of stuff to talk to her about, because obviously we've got a new audience now that we're an audio podcast as well. Before we came on, Clara's going, oh, look at your microphones. Yeah, we had to get these, so it sounded okay. But for those that don't know you, Clara, do you want to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself?
No, thank you.
As if we don't know. Then we don't know.
Right. My name's Clara, obviously. I'm 40. It turned the big 40 in summer this year. Started TikTok during the first lockdown, as many of us did. And just decided to do a few sort of comedy skits and some trends and all that. Yeah, and I just found myself really loving it. And so I did that. Got two kids. One of them gets involved quite a lot. She loves it. 2 years of, they were, 1 and 3 when this all started. Now they're 5 and 3. I mean, it's crazy, really. Like, that time, like, weird.
It's not that crazy, Clara. That's how maths works. It's 2 years plus the 2 ages that you said earlier.
What's your youngest called?
Monty.
So, yeah, of course he is. So Monty's grown up with you spending a lot of time in front of a ring light and a phone for most of his growing up in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
It would seem weird for him if you stopped doing that, wouldn't it?
Yeah, for him, I think it is like, because you know what, he pays no attention. He's completely different to Cressy. Cressy's sort of like, look, Monty, just let Mummy do her video. Or, she goes, Monty, come and play with me. Mummy's just got to do a quick video. And she goes, why don't you just go out with Daddy? Because Mummy and I are going to do a video. So if you can just go out with Daddy and just go ride your bike or something, we're going to do a video. And, she's like, So how was that TikTok? Was it perfect? I think it's perfect. Like, she gets really into it. She loves it. But Monty, I think she's just like, what the hell is that thing? And he just gets his monster trucks and his dinosaurs out and just goes off. So
for those that haven't seen the previous podcast we did with Clara, I did a little bit of taking the piss out of you for being posh, and you were defending the fact that you're not posh. But for anyone watching, I'd like to provide Exhibit A and Exhibit B as Monty and Cressy. I'm not going to rest my case yet, but I'm not far off.
No, you're pretty much there. I think you're at the finish line. There's no getting away from it. I've got something coming up which I'm going to be announcing, but I've put in this thing that I've written. I've put at the start exactly that. I've written that I was like, so my children Monty and Cressy, Montgomery and Cressida, and then I put. I just thought I'd choose a really, plain and simple name, not middle class at all, not.
Absolutely not.
And I'm like, oh shit, yeah, oh god, no, that's where the stereotype comes from, and all the rest of it as well, yeah.
Well, I went to a North Manchester comprehensive in the 80s, and the number of Montgomerys that were in my year, you wouldn't believe it. There was hundreds of them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you couldn't move for Monty's. You're like, oh.
I was just like, taking the register in the morning. It's like, Monty, well, which one?
Yeah. You're like, oh, how I long for a Jason.
It's like, do you know what? There were 4 kids in my year that didn't have double-barreled surnames as well.
Wow.
Jesus.
It's just kind of the urban lifestyle that I led in the 80s.
Yeah, you're like Smith. Oh, is that it?
Is that it?
Yeah.
Have you finished now? I'm looking at the register, and you've only got 2 names.
Yeah.
No. It's like the majority of kids at this school have got 4 middle names and 2 surnames. Anyway, I'll move on from that because there's something that I want to talk to you about, which is quite exciting. Before we came on last time, I did an internet search on you, and that's where the Daily Mail article came on. Today, I did another internet search on your name, and the top thing that comes up is Clara Batten, IMDb. We're not worthy. Remember us when remember us when you're at the Oscar ceremony, won't you?
Oh my god. This is so emotional right now. Like, I don't even know what to say. You even Googled me. This is crazy.
So, for those that don't know, Clara was in a film that, admittedly, I haven't seen yet, but
I haven't seen either.
I did see advertised massively over Christmas. And now that I know you're in it, I'm going to go and watch it tomorrow with my kids and make sure that I do watch it.
How old are your kids?
My kids are, well, the 2 here are 14 and 11. I have to say it like that because it's January and one of them changes. Do you know what I mean? It clicks over. Do you know what I mean? It's like...
Plus, 14 and 11, quite a long time ago. You have to remember all that, don't you?
There's one that's 24, mate. And so, yeah, I've got 2 kids and a woman. So I've got 2 kids at 14 and 11. And I've got a woman aged 24.
I don't want to trump anybody, but I've got a soon-to-be 31-year-old coming along.
Well, I remember you saying this last time. I couldn't believe it. I think last time they were 30. They were 30, just 10.
Yeah.
Well, for those who are watching on the video version of this, not the audio version of this, I'm not sure people would be that surprised that Baz has got a 30-year-old daughter. For those on the audio platform, have a look at the little avatar. Baz is the one with the massive white beard. So, Clara, about the film, tell us about the film. Tell us about your part in the film, and tell us how that all came about.
Yeah. So basically, the reason why I asked about the age of your kids is because it's not your typical Home Alone. Although I sort of wish it was, because then it would be a classic. But anyway. It's slightly more mature. I think it's a 12A or something. It's got some swearing, some sexual references, nothing too bad. My 3-year-old requests to watch it every single day, and I'm like, oh god, I just don't know, maybe not today. And he's like,
does he ask to fast forward through the bit you're in?
So, no, you know what? I'm always like, so do you want just because it's a bit boring. I don't want to get really bored with the film that I'm in. So can you just fast forward it to Mummy's part? And he's like, no, thank you. I'd like to watch it from the start. I'm like, really? Oh, 1 hour 50 of it. Are you sure? And he's like, yes, please. I'm like, oh, good. There you go. And then I'm off out. I leave the room, and I can't do it because I don't want to get annoyed with it myself, because I actually really enjoy it. And now it's just grating on me because I'm like, shut up. But yeah, so it's but yeah, that was on tonight again. But it's so it came about because the director of the film actually I'm not sure if he said he got sent something on WhatsApp of mine or something. Anyway, he started following me on Instagram, and he is, you know, I didn't notice, but he had liked a few videos, and then he just DM'd me and said, because I really you know, stupidly and self-worshippingly put actor as my thing on Instagram, even though I'm not. But that's because that's what I want to be. I'm like, yeah, I'll put actor, you know. And then
Well, you are now.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it worked out.
I'm going to put fucking astronaut on mine just in case.
Yeah. But the thing is, but then it sort of backfired because then he DM'd me and went, "Hi, Clara. Can I please have your agent's details for booking?" And I was like, "So what?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah, do you have an agent for booking?" And I went, "No, I don't have an agent for anything. So this is me. Hello." And he was like, "Oh, okay. I'm a director, and I think you're a good comedic actress, and I'd like to audition you for a couple of things coming up." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, that'd be great." So he was like, "So have you ever acted in anything?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm in my late teens, early 20s, and a shit agent, you know, and I didn't do an awful lot, but, you know, a little bit here and then." He was like, "Okay, do you want to jump on a call at 5 p.m. your time?" And I was like, "What? Like, where are you, LA?" And he was like, "Yes." And I went, "Oh, okay, yeah." All right, then, yes, we shall jump on a call at 5 p.m. my time. Thank you. So, yeah, anyway. Yes, yeah. This is Chris Cotton. So then so I jumped on this call with him at 5 p.m. my time, and he's an absolute lead, like literally like the funniest guy, really down to earth, really like we just spoke for an hour, just like taking the piss out of each other, laughing, you know, just basically just got on like we're friends already. And anyway, so he said, "Look, basically, I'll talk to the casting people. Most of it's already cast. It's actually a Christmas movie coming out this year." And this was like June, and we were filming in July. And he said, "Most of it's cast." And he said, "There's a few parts left. I don't know really what I'm thinking, because I just thought you know, you're good and you should be in it, but I don't really know what you can be." And so anyway, long story short, he got in touch with the casting director and asked him to get in touch with me. And the casting director is actually Debbie McWilliams, who's cast the last 13 Bond films. What?
Wow.
I was like, no pressure then. Why the fuck did I just Google her? So anyway, yeah. So basically, I got an email a couple of weeks later saying, "Hi, Chris Cotton would like you to read for this part for this movie." Da, da, da. And then I got the breakdown of the part, and it said, "Sophie, early 20s, intern, blah, blah." And I was like reading it going, so I think he's got me confused with someone else. Like, what the fuck is going on? And I texted him because I don't have an agent, so I was just on WhatsApp with him. I was like, "Chris, what? I've been sent a script to read for Sophie, a 21-year-old intern. Like, you know, I think I could pass when I was like 26 or 27, but I'm 40." And he's like, "Yeah, no," I said, "You know, we could adapt that, and it could be quite humorous, you know, if you're like a part that, you know, you're just pursuing your dreams now that kids have fled the nest and all that sort of stuff, and you could be a sort of going back to what you really want to do in the music industry and da da da." Anyway, that didn't work. So I did audition. He came back and said, "Look, everyone really enjoyed your audition, but there's hardly any parts left. So just bear with us. We're trying to work things around." Anyway, a week later, he came back and said, "Look, we've changed one of the parts from Gary to Michaela, so you can be in it." So that was such a compliment. Really sweet, really great. And then, you know, like 3 weeks later, I was on set filming for 7 days on this film as Michaela. And it was so much fun. And the producers were amazing. Everyone on set just was, there was no airs and graces about anyone. You know, they were all down to earth. No one treated anyone differently, whatever hierarchy they were. It was just the most amazing experience as like going back into that sort of industry as my first thing to go, oh, this is cool. Yeah. No, everyone was so decent and really, yeah, lovely. So it was the most amazing experience. And obviously it came out this year and yeah, it was great. It's great.
That's amazing. Where was it filmed?
So London and New York, but there's only a few scenes in New York. Mine was all in London.
So if you were there filming for a week of this, so you filmed your part. So presumably you didn't see, I mean, obviously you didn't see the rest of the movie until the movie came out.
No, I'd read the script and my scenes were basically with the main two characters. So it was Iwan Rheon, who was in Game of Thrones, and Frida Pinto, who's the lead in Slumdog Millionaire. And my scene was basically with those two. My scenes, there's about, I think I'm in 3 scenes in total, about 10 lines in total. And then a lot of reaction shots, stuff like that. But yeah, I'm in mainly with those two, and then and one of the bands in it. And then when we went to the sort of film screening premiere thing, I was like, oh, so that's what and the weird thing is Adam actually, because Chris had seen Adam, my husband, in a few of our sketches and stuff. Yeah. He jokingly says, so does Adam want a little walk on past in the film? I was like, yes. And I went, oh, I better ask him. Hang on. Do you want to walk on past the third? Cressy, do you want to be in it? Oh, there's not a part for her. Okay, no problem. I was just like, Monty. Oh, no, Monty would be shit. But yeah, I think it's cool. So, yeah, so it was sort of went like that. I was like, yeah, the whole family. Sorry, yeah, Kardashian. No, not Kardashian. And then Cressy was like, no, I do want to be in the movie. I was like, no, I'm sorry. No. But Adam said yes, and he actually had a day's filming on the film before I even went on it. So I didn't even meet Chris, who I had this sort of connection with, and we'd spoken loads on the phone. But he was like, oh yeah, he sent me a couple of the videos that I'd uploaded with Adam, and he was like, seriously, like the man crush is sort of happening now.
So 10 lines and 3 scenes is a fairly large chunk for someone who's not an established actor, has never acted in a film before. I mean, that's a large amount of lines, isn't it? Because I thought when you first were there, you might just be sort of like having one of those things where you just go, oh yes, so and so, and that's your bit.
Yeah, but I actually, and also, even though I knew what my filming was, when I actually watched the film, I was like, shit, I'm in it way more than, like, even with those lines, I was like, God, they kept quite a bit. I mean, they cut probably 2 or 3 of my lines because they just cut that bit, and the director, I said, oh, I loved that bit, and he went, no, you acted really well, but we just cut that whole thing because it was unnecessary, you know, just like we've cut loads of scenes. And so a couple of my lines got cut, but yeah, when I actually watched it, I was like, I thought, oh, that's my part done. And then suddenly I was on again, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that bit. And you know, they did quite a few sort of reaction shots of, like, you know, the standard,
brilliant,
you know. And so yeah, there was some great little moments. I was so chuffed with it. So yeah, it was amazing, and the producers I've kept in touch with, and we're actually quite matey, and we're always on WhatsApp, like seeing how things are going. And I'm not on Twitter, so they're always like screenshotting people talking about the movie and sending it over to me on WhatsApp and stuff. And yeah,
I mean, look, I mean, if there's anything else that comes up that needs a guy with a midlife crisis haircut, then you know where to come, Clara. Yeah.
Well,
He
I
doesn't
feel
have a midlife crisis haircut. He's got an end of hair life haircut now. That's it.
yeah, I feel I've missed out on a Christmas movie clearly. So it's
Oh please, yeah, no, yeah, but watch it seriously. It's a really good. It's a bit different. What I love about it is it's different. I like in a film to. Firstly, I love a rom-com, but also I love a bit of emotion in films, like where I feel something, like really feel something, and I cry at everything. So um, it's got a real up and down, but feel good romance. It's it's slightly sort of provocative in some places. It's quite sad in others, and so yeah, it sort of takes you on a bit of a roller coaster, and I really liked it that it's got some depth to it. So I I was really shocked when I saw the end thing. I was like, fucking hell, that's really good. So yeah, and it's got Guy Chambers writing all the music for it, who is huge. Like he writes for Kylie Minogue and Robbie Williams,
I was going to
and
say, what has he ever done?
yeah, he wrote Angels. That's
Yes,
it.
yeah.
But yeah, he all the songs in it. Like any one of my friends who's watched the film has said, "God, I downloaded the soundtrack immediately because every single song is just catchy. Like it's really, and it's about bands as well. So there's a lot of them, and yeah, they're really cool. They're really cool. It's just the most amazing experience. And I got an agent off the back of it just recently, which is amazing. I've got 10 lines. I was filming for 7 days.
Yep.
And actually, if you look at the amount of screen time I've got, it's probably in total 10, 15 minutes. Maximum. I mean, I'm not even, like maybe if you just take, 10 seconds there, it might be 8 minutes or something.
Yeah.
7 days filming. And it's like, hang on a second. But, and then it was like, one scene would take that whole day of like, okay, now we're going to do a reaction shot, right? Okay,
Yeah.
guys, what's up? Talent off. We're going to sell the next shot, and then it'll just be like set up the whole crew for just a reaction shot, and it's like, right, back, do this, and then like offset. It's just like, the hell is going on? It's like, there's one moment that I didn't even remember that I did, that literally it's like a montage of like really quick snippets of basically Iran saying like no to the guys he's producing this record, and they keep fucking it up, and he's going no, 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 and then the music comes to a sort of climax, and it just does a close up on my face, like, because I'm the recording studio person, and it does a close up on my face, like, and and I was like, I don't remember doing that, but they must have done a real close up, like,
Yeah.
just reacting to what he's doing, and then they used it as the final shot of this scene. And I was like, God, it's just the amount of footage they've got that I just didn't remember. But you will love it when I mean, that was my thing that I was so excited about. Mainly was going to the screening and just watching it in its entirety as like a polished, finished product after months of hard work of all of the cast and crew. And then you watch it and you're like, oh wow, it's like well done. It's like.
So tell us what it's like. Obviously, you've got some preparation before you get there, so you have an idea about what you're going to be doing. You obviously know the lines that you've got to deliver. What's it like the moment you actually walk on the set? You get into position, they fire the cameras up and shout action, and knowing full well. Did you have to do it? Do you rehearse it first, or do you? So you because of you going in there, the first moment that you get an introduction is the moment you deliver your first line that you've rehearsed.
Yeah.
What's that like?
That's actually, well, weirdly, the first line is literally just me saying to, like, the little girl is filming on her camera like a vlog, and she comes up to me and she's like, oh, all the buttons that get pressed in the studio, and then she goes to my face and goes, lady who knows what all the buttons do. And then I just turn and turn my camera and go, it's Michaela. But I remember being like how should I even say that? Like, or like, all I need to say is, it's Michaela. And I was like, but I'm so used to being sarcastic in my sketches. But I was like, I turned around to her, like this 12-year-old girl, I was like, it's Michaela. Yeah, and I was like, oh shit, should I even say it like that? And I was like, Chris, do you want me to be nicer about that? Like, and he was like, don't worry about it. And I was like, oh fuck, all I'm doing is introducing myself. And I'm already like shitting myself about it.
You're totally overthinking it. It was like, tell me more about Michaela's background. I mean, what was her childhood like? What's she feeling right now? Do you know what I mean? It was like, has she had a bad day before she got here? Give me some more to this.
I was like that before I filmed it, like because I bet he wished I'd had an agent because there would have been a buffer between me and him. But instead, I was on WhatsApp going, so I'm just reading through the lines, and when I read through lines, I want to know, like, when I'm learning them, I need to know what accent or what, sort of thing I'm delivering in it. And I said, look, I'm just gauging from the fact that this character used to be called Gary and now they're called Nicola, that I'm a bit of a Chad. And he was like, no, not really. I was like, really? Sure. It's like, no. He's like, no, it's you're. I get it, but he was like, no, I literally want you to deliver it how you would do your sketches. Like, just do it. And I was like, oh, thank fuck for that.
Just be you.
Yeah. He was like, just do it how you would normally do your stuff. And so I was like, okay. And then I was like, I'll just tone down the accents a bit maybe. And he was like, not even. I was like, oh, brilliant. So actually, after that first line of "It's Michaela," the rest of it, I just really got into my own and just, because they were filming for longer than that one line, and the camera would pan round and Iran would say something or Frida would say something, and I'd just give them my little looks or whatever. I just loved doing it, but it's also a little bit because I'm so used to doing, like, when I fell in love with acting, it was all theatre. That's what I did growing up, and so it's TV and film is really, and I found this in my late teens when I first got my first TV job and my first film, which wasn't a main part; it was just like a walk-on thing. It's a little bit not disheartening, but it's just not as you don't feel like you're properly acting a lot of the time because with stage you're sort of standing in the wings. You've got one shot at it. You've learned all your lines. You've rehearsed for months, and then suddenly, like, the lights go up. You go on. You're feeding off the audience. Like, they'll laugh. Your adrenaline goes. You bounce off them and bounce off the other actors. But with film, it's like, okay, cut. Right, at some stage, I was acting to Frida's stand-in because she was pregnant at the time when we were filming, and all the COVID stuff. And my wardrobe person had tested positive because we were testing every day, obviously. And my wardrobe person was doing all my loads of jewelry that I had on had tested positive, and she was like, I don't really want to do any more scenes with Clara, because we only had like one more scene to do. And so I said, when they were focusing the camera on me, I was acting towards Frida's stand-in. He was sitting there with a script, just like reading out the lines to me. And I was acting to her and being recorded. So I was like, this is so weird. It doesn't feel like proper acting, but then you see it on the big screen, you're like, oh, it is proper acting. It's all right. That's right.
Well, it's funny. It's all the kind of the magic and the illusion of filming, isn't it?
Yeah.
So when you watch the film for the first time through, obviously because you haven't seen the whole thing in its in its entirety, are you getting ready? So when you're watching it, you're like, oh, hang on, this is the bit where they're going to the studio now. This is me. I'm coming up now.
Yeah, it was weird because I thought that our part was quite near the end. And then halfway through the film, the only part that I could recognise that I was going to be on is the fact that the little girl comes in with a camera to do a vlog, and I'm on like 30 seconds later. So when she suddenly comes in the studio, I was like, what? It's happening already? I don't know. This was pretty nearly. I mean, sure, because this is when they're recording the song, and that's a. But actually, there's quite a bit after. But I'd read the script like a couple of months before, so I was like, what? And then so yeah, I mean, not that anyone wants to know, but I'm on at 59 minutes.
Okay.
Well, that'll save me some time tomorrow. Let me write that
Yeah,
down. We're not watching the rest of it. We're watching for 59 minutes in,
yeah.
and only for 10.
As if you genuinely only want to watch my part, like you've got a real genuine interest in it, and not just want to watch a movie. You're like, no, I just want to watch that girl who I just had a podcast with last night. So.
I'd like to think it's more than just the woman who was on the podcast. I'd like to think it could say to me, I'd like to think, Clara, that we've progressed beyond that, and that I can say, I want to see my mate in a movie. Is that all right?
I was saying it more for effect. Yeah, to any listeners, we've been friends for a while. And,
thanks, Clara. As long as I know, as long as you've made it very clear what the relationship between you and I is now. You're on our podcast. I thought me and you were mates. I didn't know you were a guest on my podcast, and that was as far as it went. But no, that's fine.
So we are friends.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm going to see when I watch it. I'm going to say to my missus, "Oh, that's my friend Ra."
Yeah.
She, exactly. Her friends call her Ra. She's Clara Batten on the film, obviously, but I know it's Ra, so it's fine.
Like all my friends, all my teachers, all call me Ra. So yeah, you say that.
I'll say to my kids and my wife, there's my friend Ra on the telly. But if you don't mind, when I go and talk to my mates at home, I'm not going to call you Ra. It just sounds a bit too. Do you know what I mean?
Then I look like
They'll think the two, like, I mean, I've moved to Ireland 2 years ago, so I don't see my mates as often, and they'll think I've gone to public school for a couple of years if I say that. They'll think I've just been in boarding school in the Shires.
oh my god, you called that because you're like, oh yeah, rah.
Yeah. I'm actually a big fan of Rugger now.
It's not that at all. It's the fact that when I was born, my brother was 2 years old, and he had just turned 2, and he couldn't say Clara, and so he used to call me Rara. And my mum called me Clara, thinking, well, that won't be shortened. That's great, Clara, you're not going to be called Clara. And so she was like, oh, that, she'll never have her name shortened. And then, as soon as I was born, he was calling me Rara, and then she started saying Ra, and then, oh, can you get Ra this, or oh, get Ra this. So it just literally all my friends, if there's any comment on social media, it's all like, oh, all right, Ra, how's it going? Because it's all just through me growing up with Ra from when I was born because of my brother. Nothing to do with public school, although I might stick to that.
It does sound it a bit, though, doesn't it? It does sound it a bit. Though it's a good excuse for us to say that if you want to find Clara on TikTok, it's Rabats, which is RABATTS.
Yeah, it is. Although I was thinking of changing it because I've changed my Instagram to Clara Batten.
You have, I noticed.
Yeah, because I want.
Well, now you've got an IMDb. Who do you think you are? Look at you. Look at you. Who the fuck do you think you are? You've been 10 minutes in one film, and you're rebranding yourself, getting an agent. I'm not sure I want to be mates with you after all that discussion. To be fair, do you know what? As well, you can't use the IMDb like an OBE. Do you know what I mean? You can't put it down as like Clara Batten IMDb. It doesn't work like that. Just so we're clear.
I love the fact that people go, like, so many people have commented on TikTok going, oh my god, I watched your film. You've got your own IMDb page now. And I was like, yeah, at 40 with one thing on it. So,
You have to remember, some people never get that.
I'm going to read it though.
I don't know. I mean, that seems pretty shit in my eyes.
I just want to. I've got it open in front of me, and I just want to say, this is talk about manifesting stuff. Yeah, I'm a big believer in that. It's like you want something, keep saying it enough, and it'll happen. So you put Clara Batten, actress, on your TikTok, or sorry, your Instagram, yeah.
Actor.
If you click on IMDb, Clara Batten, it says Clara Batten is an actress. Is the first 5 words, okay? So you don't need to pretend anymore. IMDb says you are. It
Yeah,
says,
exactly.
Clara Batten is an actress known for A Christmas #1 brackets 2021.
Oh, gosh, what else is she known? Oh, nothing.
Hold on, I'm just going to click on see full bio.
Whatever you do, don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, I think my screen must be buffering because there's nothing else coming up.
Yeah,
I think the internet must be slow. I don't know what's happened there.
just age will do. Oh, no, nothing there.
View agent, publicist, legal. I have to pay for that. I'm not paying for that. No offense, Clara. No, we're mates, but I'm not paying to see your agent. Oh, I'm stuck now. I don't know what to do. Anyway.
Oh, yeah, you have to be pro to see the agent, yeah.
Yeah, well, do you know what I mean? If you're on it. You haven't got a Wikipedia page, though, yet.
No, I know. Can you set one up for me? Thanks.
That's the next one.
Oh, God, if we write it, it's going to be awful.
It's going to be lies as well.
That would be hilarious. When we get off here, if I don't have a Wikipedia page within an hour, I'm coming to you.
And you're rescinding the friend thing.
Yeah.
I'm not your mate anymore. You said you would sort out a Wikipedia page.
Calling yourself a friend, I don't even have a bloody Wikipedia page up within half an hour. Bloody
You
podcast.
promised me.
Yeah, you promised me.
I was going to say, so on the back of that, Chris followed you on, was it TikTok he followed you on?
Instagram.
Oh, Instagram. So you checking your Instagram every day to see if Steven Spielberg's now one of your followers?
No, you know what? And I never followed any directors, and I never. I followed some agents. To be fair, like when I saw actors crop up and he said "Retch by," I'd follow an agent. I never followed any directors, but so it was a real shock when he said, "I've been following you for a while," and I always find the word "following" really weird. Like it's really creepy, doesn't it? I've been following you for a while. All right, chill out.
Yeah, but that's because we're from a generation where if somebody said, "I've been following you for a while," you went, "What? Since I came out of the co-op?" Do you know what I mean?
Oh, it's you in that car across the street, is it?
Well, can you stop that? Because it's not a nice thing to do.
No. So that's like, I've been following you for a while. I'm like, fuck up. And then he was like, and I'm a film director. Oh, hello.
Yes. Oh, I'm so pleased about that.
And how have you been following me? One of those things. Like, oh, yeah, very good. Yeah, I thought you were really good. Oh, thank you. Thanks for following me. Weird. But yeah, so it's no, I haven't. I don't expect Spielberg. I don't expect him to be on my Instagram.
But to be fair, the person who cast you for this film has cast the last 13 Bond films.
Yeah,
so
that's
you know
true.
what I mean? There's been a lot of discussion about Bond as well. Is that, will the next one be a woman or a black guy and stuff? In terms of inclusion and stuff. So, who knows? The next Bond girl could be in her 40s. That would be something, wouldn't it? Do you know what I mean? How progressive would that be? Let's make that happen.
The main part has to be in his late 30s, 40s, surely.
I think so.
Like, not the Bond girls, obviously. I'm not going to be a Bond girl, but the only chance I have is playing like a middle-aged, midlife crisis James Bond.
That's it. And just going back to Wikipedia, just because obviously this isn't live, we're recording this. So by the time this goes out, if you are reading the Wikipedia page about Clara that I've set up, she isn't actually the next Bond. As it says on that Wikipedia page, she didn't used to work in Threshers in Glasgow, and no, she didn't drown any puppies in Croydon swimming baths in 1987.
I was only 6 then.
That's a big crime back then, especially for a 6-year-old.
I forget. Do you know what? It's like kids make mistakes, though, don't they? Do you know what I mean?
I make plenty. Oh, evidently. Yeah, so you better set one up. That'll be hilarious.
I'll make it happen. So, yeah, if you are listening to this on the audio platforms, I think this is going to go out in a week or two after we're recording it. So, if I've got a chat, like I don't know how it works, whether you can just set up a Wikipedia page, but surely if you've got an IMDb, I can set one up, right? I'll make it happen. So if you are listening to this, once you've finished listening to this, get onto Wikipedia, Clara Batten, and look at all the bullshit I've just put on there about her.
And you forgot it's Clara Batten IMDb.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to put that in there as well. It's like Clara Batten, brackets, who now insists on being known as Clara Batten IMDb. I'm going to have so much fun with this, Clara.
And of course, anybody can put stuff in it. So I may add a few things. Formerly known as Michaela Smith.
That's it, brilliant. So everybody who's listening to this on the audio platform or watching this on YouTube, okay?
Something.
Once you've finished watching this, go to Wikipedia, find Clara's Wikipedia page, and feel free to add anything you want into it.
And of course,
This
you've got
is
a
going
whole.
to be amazing. We're going to make a documentary about this one day.
We've got a whole huge plethora of like headshots to go on it now as well. So it'll be amazing.
Did you say hedgehogs?
Yes, that's exactly what I said.
What the hell's hedgehogs got to do with it?
Shots.
So sorry, just onto that. So we kind of knew that Clara. We didn't know that you'd got an agent and things were kind of moving on from your debut movie, should we call it? Because there's going to be loads more. So yeah, we kind of knew that stuff had moved on. When you said to me that you couldn't do this during the day because you were getting your headshots done, which for people who aren't lovies and don't understand theatre and television and actors, posh pictures of her face from the shoulders upwards, I think, is what she's saying. So did you have them done today?
The clue is in the name, headshot.
Well, do you know what I mean? I'm from Manchester, so where I'm from, a headshot is just to make sure they don't grass you. Just to make sure they're properly dead.
Can I just talk about the amount of light rings you've got in the background?
There's only one.
3.
Hey?
Oh no, there's a. So you got the circle off the top of the sign, looks like one, but then there's a shadow and the actual one.
Oh no, this is like talk about the magic of television, Clara. If I click this button, that disappears.
I actually haven't taken any drugs. So
is that the problem?
Call yourself a film star.
Do you need to take a couple of minute break to go and take some? Is that what you're saying? She does one movie and look at her now. She's like, I'm doing nothing. You don't get a rider for coming on this podcast, you know. I'm doing nothing till someone gets some kid on a moped to go to the roughest part of town and get me a small bag of powder. I'm doing nothing. I'm stopping it till then.
The roughest part of town is probably just outside Waitrose.
No.
It was so funny actually. The day before yesterday, I dropped my kids off at school and then I went to Tesco. And as I was loading the car up with shopping, this woman wound down her window of a car next door, and she goes, "Hi, you know what I'm going to say, don't you?" And I parked in a parent and child lane, right? And because I'm so used to doing it, I genuinely didn't think, because every time I go there, it's after picking my kids up from school because it's right next door. So we always park there. They get out with me and we go shopping. But this is after dropping them off. It's like 9 a.m. She goes, "You know what I'm going to say, don't you?" And I went, "I know. Yeah, I'm sorry. I completely forgot." And she was like, "Yeah, I know you're TikTok." And I was
I like to think that woman is somewhere going, do you know what? I saw that Clara Batten off TikTok the other day. Right? She does one fucking movie, thinks she can park anywhere she likes in Tesco. I'm in it for 10 minutes. She's acting like she's fucking Robin Williams now. 10 minutes in a Christmas movie on Sky, and you think you can park anywhere you want. You've changed.
yeah.
You've got the next echelon now, because obviously as creators on TikTok and Instagram or whatever, the kind of bucket list is to get recognised, which obviously you have done. And so is the next one now to go, "Oh yeah, I saw you in that movie," before they mentioned TikTok? That's got to be the next one, surely.
No, yeah, I've been recognised quite a lot in pubs.
I'm sure that happened before the movie.
Yeah, Clara, you do know that someone in a restaurant asking you to come back in because you've not paid the bill isn't being recognised in the restaurant.
Yeah.
That's not what that is. Once this Wikipedia page is up and running, I can't wait for someone to come up and go, "Are you the woman who holds the world record for the number of M&Ms pushed up one nostril?" I've got loads of it. I tell you what, you're moaning that your IMDb doesn't have much. Your Wikipedia is going to be about 18 pages long when I'm finished with it.
And you know what? I cannot wait either. That'll be far better than. Were you in that Christmas movie? No, talk about the M&Ms.
How many M&Ms can you put up a nostril? Huh?
Can you imagine the amount of things that Mike could put on there from 1981 onwards?
Oh, brilliant! Yeah, that's brilliant. Go for it.
So getting back to the actual. I'll tell you, because it's been a positive experience. That are you actively kind of searching out to like the next role?
So no, I'm leaving it to my agent. What else? No, actually, I've got an audition on Tuesday that she got, which is quite big. So I should probably learn my line. But yeah, so it's a
B&Q advert.
It's
That'd be quite big.
I didn't even say, because I'm not saying the script. It's the lead in a Barclaycard advert.
Ooh.
But it's it's a huge thing. They're doing a series of them, and it's quite comedic as well.
Yeah.
So it's they've given like a really detailed brief of like how they want the money paid out and stuff.
Do you know that the current lead of the Barclaycard advert is Grace Jones?
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
I saw it today. True story.
I don't believe you.
No, it is. It is 100%. It's true.
It's that connection again, because she was also in a Bond movie, so there's hope.
There you go. See.
Well, see you later, Grace.
There you go. Out you get. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? You're old school Bond. I'm next Bond. There you go. Jog on.
So, Clara, obviously you can't say too much now that you're in the acting trade. But what's next for you? Anything you could tell us what you're going to be doing?
Well, the reason, the genuine reason why I can't tell you is because I've got fuck all up. That's pretty much. That's pretty much why I can't tell you what's going on next. No, hopefully something else. My agent seems to be really proactive. I love her to bits. So we got on really well. That's the reason. She's a sort of medium-sized agent.
What, size 14? I'm sorry, carry on.
Yeah, and that.
I'm sorry, I think I might have distracted you there. Carry on.
That is, but I felt I had to say it. But yeah, no, it's she's so proactive, and I love her to bits, and like we really get on. So hopefully, good things to come.
Thank you so much, Clara, for being on. Really appreciate it. Really excited to hear about your movie. For those that didn't catch it, it's called A Christmas Number One. I know it's not Christmas, but go and watch it anyway. If you want to follow Clara on TikTok, it's Rabats, which is RABATTS. Go and follow her on TikTok. Go and follow her on Instagram. Keep an eye out for her in movies and supermarket car parks, and on the school run. You never know where you'll see Clara. But anyway, thanks everyone for being on tonight. Don't forget, wherever you're watching us or listening to us, subscribe, click for notifications and all that kind of stuff. We're here every week. We've got a new person every week. We interview loads of different people. I've had a great time. So thanks everyone for listening or watching, and we'll see you next time.
Good night.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. Mwah, love you.